Then pre-Accrington Stanley at home. Well, played on Tuesday night. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was a great result, obviously. Looking at if you'd just seen the result, then you'd think that's a great result. So 6-1, nice to get through to the next round, and it was good to get a feel for the players around me, the stadium, the home fans, and it was nice to get that feel before going into Saturday.
Yeah, I suppose the ideal sort of game to break yourself in with. How settled do you feel now going into hopefully your first league game?
Yeah, well, I felt settled before that, to be honest. I trained a few times with the boys and they were all very welcoming, and everyone around the club made me feel welcome, and I felt settled almost immediately as soon as I got here, so yeah.
And there's a few new boys, so has that sort of integration process happened as easily to everyone? In some ways, is it almost easier when there are a few of you?
Yeah, I think we've all come in at different stages though, so we've all started training at different times and stuff like that. But I think it does make it a little easier, yeah, if you're not the only one. But everyone's been very welcoming with everyone if they're coming in on their own, or there's a few coming in, so there's no hostility at all, so it's good group.
And in terms of those changes, you look at yourself, there's also Manny in the defence as well, a new goalkeeper again in Scott Brown coming back to the club. I mean, how quickly can you get that unit, if you like, to gel? Because obviously that's the key task, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do as quickly as possible, and there were signs of it gelling on, obviously without the keeper, on Tuesday. And I think the more you play with each other, the more you get to know each other's game, and the more you can start to understand how each other play and how each other want each other to play. So I think it does come with a bit of time, but hopefully we want it to come as quickly as possible, and we need it to become as quickly as possible, yeah.
And obviously there's some experienced players here as well who, certainly will be giving you competition for places. So I suppose you've got that spurring you on as well, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of experience here, especially in the defence. So that is good. That is good. You need that. You want people pushing you, and you want people pushing you to get into the team. You need healthy competition. That's what every squad needs, and we've got that here. So that'll be good, yeah.
Accrington Stanley. What do you know about them so far?
Well, I've seen quite a lot of them last season, obviously. They had a great season last season, unlucky not to go up. And then this season they've sort of on the come down, and they've struggled. Well, they're not doing too bad, I guess. They're above us, so they haven't struggled too much, but it's a big difference from last season. And I've seen them play a few times. I haven't seen them play loads, but I'll have a look through today and tomorrow, look through them, see what they're like, see the strengths and weaknesses, and then go from there and hopefully be ready for Saturday.
Obviously, you mentioned last season, so you know the level, and been up in Scotland as well. How well, sort of do the levels compare? Because Scottish football doesn't have the greatest of reputations, especially south of the border, which probably says more about us than them.
Yeah. I think you're right there. You got that spot on up there. It's not a bad standard at all, to be honest. And people are naive when going up there, and quite a lot of people have shocks. Like, there are a lot of boys went up from England this season to Kilmarnock personally and struggled and didn't manage to settle in. But it's a good standard, to be honest. You play the likes of Celtic and Rangers, obviously the European sides, but then the bread and butter games, your Inverness, everything like that, is still a good standard. And comparing it to League Two, I'd say similar, to be honest. So there won't be much difference. There ain't a big vast gap between the two leagues at all, no.
Presumably, though, you feel a better player now than you were when you last played in League Two.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, that's helped me a lot, that experience this season. So, definitely.
Excellent, thank you, good luck.
How was the experience last season with York? Because it was, on the face of things, quite similar to the situation you're coming into now.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah. And obviously, I don't want this to end the way that did. And being a signed player, obviously it meant exactly the same to me last season, but it means that a little bit more here now. I'm a signed player, so I want to be playing in the league next season with the club. So yeah.
What was it like at York because they went on just a disastrous run towards the end of the season?
Yeah.
There's probably a bit more time to turn things around here, is there?
Yeah, there is. Just turned halfway through the season, so anything could happen. You know what I mean? By nowhere means in like serious trouble. Obviously, looking at the league table, we're not in a position we want to be in, but we have got time to turn it around, and I believe we will do that. Yeah.
Noticed after the game on Tuesday, after the warm-up, you and Aaron Downs were in quite deep conversation, just going through various sort of tactical things in the game. Has he sort of taken you under his wing since you came in?
Yeah, I noticed that straight away, that he's speaking to all the lads, not just me personally, but putting his arm around them all and giving them tips and stuff with his experience. And I'll look to nick little bits off him as much as I can. I'll be in his ear as much, probably more than anyone. So I'll be looking to nick everything he knows and take that into my own game. And I think he seems like the type of person who's willing to try and help me. So that'll be good. Yeah.
The manager said Tuesday that although it was a young back three, he thought you were going to be the leader. You're the talkative one, the confident one. Is that something that you've always done? Sort of taken a sort of a front foot approach to football.
Yeah, I think that's one of my characteristics as a person and as a player. I'd like to think I'm a leader, so I like to take that onto the pitch if possible, where possible, and I like to try organise people around me and do whatever I can to help the team.
Is it too much of a stereotype to call you a straight talking Yorkshireman, or a...
I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
As a player that's being brought in, is there an increased responsibility or increased pressure on you to try and turn things around?
You can look at it that way, I suppose, yeah. But I've got to thrive on that. That's what I've come here to do. That's what I want to do. I want to turn it around. I want to turn this season from a not so good one the first half to a good one and kick on as far as we can up the table. And all the lads want to do that as well. So I think it's a collective push, and we're all going to be doing what we can.
Excellent. And from what you've seen so far, what's the general mood in the squad at the moment?
I said that to the manager actually. When I came down a few times last week, have a look around the place and get to know a few people. And to be honest, if I didn't see the league table before I came, I wouldn't have been able to guess where we were in the table, which I think is good, because there's no point. What's happened has happened. We've got to move forward, and you can't be down in the dumps. You've got to be positive, and you've got to be looking forward to the next game. So I think that's good. Yeah.
Just one more final one. You mentioned signing permanently. Did you have to be sort of talked into it, or was the lure of an 18 months sort of senior contract, playing first team football, enough?
I want to be playing first team football. I want to establish myself here and play as many games as possible, and that were a great opportunity for me. So I didn't really have to be talked into it, to be honest. It were more my choice, because I believe that we've got enough here to stay in League 2 next season, and that's what I want to be doing, playing league football week in, week out. So that's where I see the next few years being. Yeah.
Excellent. Cheers, Will.